for that.
Hey Geeks and Gamers, Matt Lemke here with 3Gamer Goggles, and we are with Spartan Games at the War Store booth at Gen Con. And Martin, right?
Yep, Martin.
Yeah, good. Is going to show us a quick demo on Halo, their new release that has absolutely sold out here at the show. And basically we're going to do a quick overview of the core mechanics and then one full game turn. Take it away.
So, first thing we'll start with is our fleet admirals. Every nation will get at least one fleet admiral, and these are the guys who are controlling your fleet. They're very important because they have a series of special orders that are unique to, well, normal orders and unique orders that can affect gameplay. So every round we'll always start with rolling your commander dice, which you then log up. Sanford, lucky here, has a unique ability that can re-roll 2 of these, so to try and get a more varied series of orders. So let's re-roll a couple. Oh, we've got the same dice again. Cheating. Got to go where the dice land. So these will be used at any point in the game in order to modify my dice rolls, so I can get that extra couple of attack dice, or remove a couple of attack dice from the enemy. So the core mechanic uses what we call the fire rating table. So any point you're needing to roll dice, you will need to use this table. You will always start on fire solution 4 as a standard roll, and if it's unimpeded in any way, the dice work as follows. For every 2, you get 2 hits, and then you get a free reroll. For every 1, you get a single hit. For every miss, you get nothing. For every fail, it's worse than nothing, because your rerolls affect your misses, but not your fails. So if you're rolling 8 dice, you get 8 sets in fire solution 4. And that's pretty terrible, but let's say I rolled some 2s. So in this situation, those 2 are negated, and they're effectively dead in my dice pool. 4 misses, try and get some more hits. Another fail, another hit. I continued to roll 2s, I could keep drawing from these until I ran out of misses or ran out of hits. That mechanic is the same mechanic in the defensive systems that ships will use to negate my attacks. So if this marathon was attacking this frigate here, how this track works is, this is an elusive target, so it's -1 to the track rating. So I would have started on 4, so it gets knocked down to 3, and that means that the dice act the same. 2s count as 2s, 1s count as 1s, but it's removed my ability to re-roll my misses. So that can be pretty crushing at long distance, because his cloaking systems would knock it down again by 1. So I go down to my 2s and 1s counting as a single success and no re-rolls. But his missiles at long range add +1, so it knocks it up to 3 again. So that same roll of 8 dice from his MAC cannon, was heavy MAC cannon, I'd roll out, wouldn't get any re-rolls, so in that situation, all I got was 2 hits. He has a series of defensive systems that can defend against Max, and he has 2 defensive dice. He uses the exact same roll. He's got no systems that negate his defenses, so he would get his 2 dice to try and remove my successes. With his damage track of 4, he's currently at risk of taking 1 whole point of damage. 2 successes, get a free reroll. 3 successes, down to 1 success, fire solution negated. This damage track is the core of any dice you'll ever roll in the game, and your orders can affect this, and all these are affected by systems, weapon loadouts, terrain, will always affect the slide on this table. So should we do a game turn?
Sure, game turn.
Brilliant. So, let's say the UNSC are here. There's a legal squadron against a legal squadron of Covenant. They're a little bit close. So every weapon has 2 effective ranges, long range and short range. So my marathons have a heavy Mac of 1632. So they're well within 16 inches, so they're at close range. He gets 8 dice for his Mac cannon.
He's firing it with shit.
Yep. These two are going to link fire with any weapon system that's just same weapon loadout. Yep, same weapon loadout and same if it's primary or secondary, can add their dice to one pool to shoot any target. You can target any target with any weapon and fire every weapon with available targets. So they've got max out the front, missiles out the side and front. So if they're completely surrounded, they can fire dice at all directions. Covenant and Nasty, most of their weapon systems are 270 arcs. So it's hard to get around these guys because they can throw out. UNSC, lots of guns out the front. So his heavy Mac out the front. So you build your dice pool, right, heavy Mac out the front of 8 dice. He has a Mac gun out the front, smaller vessel, a trident formation of 3 dice out the front. So he gets 3 dice.
Jared, you have 2?
Yep, 3 dice out the front. So work out your range. Macs aren't affected by range. This guy does not have a cloaking system. These small ones do, so I'm going to opt to shoot at the thing with no cloaking system. So I'm firing solution 4 as standard, not modified. So what I'm trying to achieve is 8 successes to do the first point of damage, 7 successes to do the second point, 3 to do the third. If I roll 9 successes, that's still only a single point of damage. If I'm lucky enough to get 15, that would be 2 points. So firing solution 4. 2s count as 2s, this is looking pretty promising. There's 6, 8, 3 misses, 4 hits, 4 double hits. I got 4 rerolls, but I've only got 3 dice to reroll, so let's try again. 1 success, 2 more misses. That's my rerolls over. So my current successes for this guy, I need 8 to do the first point of damage, brilliant. 7 for the next, 5, so it's 1 point of damage. He has a defense array. His defense array is 4 dice. So he uses the exact same fire rating table to roll 4 dice back at me in order to negate my successes. Sadly, he rolled no 2s, so he just gets his 3, -3 out of my dice pool. Look at the damage track, 8, it's enough, point of damage. That ship's now damaged. Every time you successfully damage a vessel, you get the opportunity to do a critical hit. You get an exploding 2, and you get a critical hit on a system. He didn't, but let's say that we did get a critical hit. He'll add a vulnerable token. Vulnerable tokens are very important in the game. For every vulnerable token a ship has, that damage track is reduced by 1. So if he was undamaged, that was vulnerable, that would now be 762. So that was his first weapon system. His defense arrays took some of the dice, damage still got through. But he successfully got a critical hit, so now he's vulnerable. So his first point of damage is gone. So he's now on 6-2. He still has all his missiles to fire. And his missiles on the marathon are 7 missile dice. And the trident formation have 3. So that's 10 dice. 10 dice to throw at these guys. Start and fire in solution 4. He has no cloaking system at this range. So still an unimpeded roll of standard 4s. So let's have a look. Some nice. There's a fail. That's removed from the pool. There's nothing I can do about that. 2 rerolls. 2 1s. No more rerolls. So that's a pretty good. I only need to get 6. So I'm currently up to 6 here. I need to get another 2. So at the moment he's dead outright. He still gets his defense arrays of 4. Missiles coming in. He also gets his point defense to add to that dice pool. And he has a point defense of 3. So he gets 3 dice to add for point defense to try and knock them out of the sky. Same roll of a 4. But knocked off 3 dice. 3 dice removed. So that's the first, another point of damage, but just not enough to wipe him outright. Another critical hit chance. Didn't get my critical hit, but I got my extra point of damage. And that's them all with their firing systems. The Covenant, on the other hand, their firing systems are much more powerful, much more usable. But with vulnerability from these guys, you can start whittling down their systems. Not only does vulnerable remove the damage track, it removes 1 success from every defensive dice pool. Damage will remove 1 success from every firing solution dice pool. So when things take damage, they become less effective against defense and attack. So UNSC, they have defensive titanium armor. If they take 1 point of damage, they no longer have their defense systems. So when UNSC takes some damage, they can get wiped off the board really quickly. At any point in that, I could have used any of my fleet orders. Well, that's my Covenant UNSC fleet orders, so didn't roll my Covenant orders. So if I had, I'd rolled my Covenant fleet orders to kind of defend them. That wasn't very useful. If I'd had, say, a defense dice, I could have powered to the defensives during his roll for his defenses to re-roll a single dice. So whereas I rolled 3 ones and 3 misses, this gives me a chance to get an extra re-roll that I wouldn't have got by spending that order dice. Sadly, it was a skull, so it wouldn't have made any difference. Standard game turn is always you go, I go, initiative first. Initiative is D6. Obviously these guys started practically close to each other, but the Covenant are much more maneuverable. They move further, they turn better, they've got lateral movement, whereas these guys point and shoot. That is the base mechanics in a nutshell, excluding the boarding. So we have a series of different boarding craft on these vessels. Starting boarding craft are either Pelicans or Spartan 3s. These do some really nice damage. When you can manage to get, when you launch your boarders on one of these vessels, it sends over, he gets his point defense to shoot him out of the sky. They have a damage track of 6, so he needs 6 successes in order to take him down. He got 3, so there's a chance. 1 reroll. 4, damage track 6. 4's not, well, actually his damage is actually 4, so that is actually enough to destroy him. But say he didn't get through, you would do the same style of roll with his standing crew of 2 versus his standing crew of 4. That's a straight dice roll. Whoever gets the highest wins the combat. We have a really fun sliding boarding table. Once you've decided who's won the combat, you roll 2d6, add the difference for whoever won the combat. And this table, some nasty things happen. That comes from bombs being added to critical core explosions. So say he successfully boarded, he would get 2d6 plus 2 for successfully boarding. See that? 10 plus 2 is 10 plus 2 is 12, T minus 2. Place a damage token, in this situation would have destroyed him. 4 countdown tokens, which are bombs, that once they reach 6 tokens, that ship explodes outright, regardless of damage, regardless of vulnerability. And when these start exploding, it's lovely. You add the combined rating of their damage track together, and that is the attack dice for everything that is in close range of that vessel. So Spartans can really mess up ships. But in a 1,000-point game, we'll be lucky to get a single Spartan, because those guys are harsh. But he adds extra damage and extra things, so he's an amazing thing to have.
How many points are in the starter, roughly?
It's around 1,000 points. The way we've set it out, there's the campaign book that will show you in smaller games and slowly move up. But yeah, there's about 1,000 points aside, and there's extra kind of different ways of fielding it. So if you field, because the models can be fielded in each set, each model in this set can be fielded in 2 different formations. So frigates are either trident or arrowhead, and you get different overlays for different formations. Your marathons can be escorted, your epochs can be escorted, and the same with all your large vessels. So those different points costs affect how aggressive or how defensive each system is, or how much weaponry it can get.
Excellent. That's it?
That is pretty much the base, the bare bones of this mechanic. The main thing I would say is just that when you get the hang of this table of adding and minusing from your damage from your combat rating, that's when it gets interesting, because you'll have UNSC players just outside short range of the Covenant, because they get +1 to all their plasma weapons at close range. So they'd be on fire solution 5 at close range, so they get to reroll every single dice that doesn't hit. But the UNSC, really good at medium to long range, but you want to board, you've got to get in close range. So you gotta make that choice. Do you send the Spartans in, or do you keep your fleet back?
Yeah.
And it's amazing so I've got Pelicans on that, but we can send friendly vessels from other vessels, because boarding, although you send your craft during the movement phase, the actual boarding resolution phase is right at the end of the game. So on that ship, you could have Spartans, you could have Zealots, you can have Elites, all brawling it out in one big fat dice pool. And still, if you roll nothing but fails and you roll nothing but successes, there's a good chance that that boarding tracks is going to be a critical core explosion and kill everyone on that ship.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you.
No, it's a pleasure.
I hope you enjoy the last, 4 hours of your show?
Yes, and I'm tired. It's been brilliant. But yeah, I've played close to 36 hours of solid Halo. And
you should be an expert by now.
I hope so.
World Championships next year.
Oh yes, yeah. Brilliant. That'd be amazing.
All right. Thank you.
Attention, Gen Con exhibitors.